Picture this. It's a regular Tuesday evening, you're on the couch, dinner's done, and there's this pressure in your chest. It's not quite pain. It's more like someone left a bag of cement leaning against your sternum from the inside. You're a little sweaty and a little queasy, and your left arm feels strangely heavy. And your brain, which is world-class at explaining things away, immediately runs through the suspects. The burrito, the work stress, that gym session from 2 days ago. It's definitely one of those, because you're way too young for the other thing, and calling an ambulance over what's probably heartburn in front of the neighbors? You'd never live down the embarrassment. So you swallow an antacid, put a glass of water on the nightstand, and make the quietest, most dangerous decision of your life. You decide to wait until morning. Oh, hello there. Before we get to what's happening behind your ribs, a quick pop quiz, and this one actually matters tonight. What's the difference between a heart attack and a cardiac arrest? A, nothing. They're two names for the same thing. B, one is a plumbing problem, the other is an electrical problem. C, heart attacks are for old people. Cardiac arrests are for athletes. D, the cardiac arrest is the one where you get handcuffed. The answer is B, and if you picked A, don't feel bad. Hollywood has been confidently picking A for about 80 years, and we'll get to that later. Here's the 90-second version of how your heart actually works. It's a pump, a fist-sized piece of muscle that moves around 2,000 gallons of blood a day and has been doing hard manual labor without a single day off since before you were born. It makes The Rock's training schedule look like semi-retirement. And here's the detail almost nobody knows about this pump. It can't feed itself from the blood inside it. All that blood rushing through its chambers is off limits, like a waiter at a wedding who isn't allowed to touch the buffet. Instead, the heart gets its fuel through a few thin arteries wrapped around its outside, its own private supply lines, called the coronary arteries. Everything the pump does depends on what those little pipes deliver. A heart attack is what happens when one of those supply lines gets blocked. The patch of muscle behind the blockage starts starving, but the pump keeps pumping badly and painfully, and you're still awake, with hours on the clock. A cardiac arrest is an entirely different failure. The heart's electrical system loses the beat, the pump simply stops, and you're unconscious within seconds, with minutes to live. One is the pipes, the other is the wiring. And the reason people confuse them is that the first can cause the second. Starving heart muscle becomes electrically unstable, and at any moment, the plumbing problem can trip the wiring. That's the real danger of your quiet Tuesday night. So how does a supply line get blocked in the first place? Slowly, and this is the part that should genuinely bother you. If I asked when tonight's heart attack began, you'd probably guess this week, maybe this year. The honest answer is somewhere around your 15th birthday. When researchers autopsied soldiers who died in their early 20s, young, fit, in the best shape of their lives, most of them already had the early buildup in their arteries. Tonight's emergency has been under construction for decades. That buildup is called plaque, a slow collection of cholesterol, fat, calcium, and inflammation that gathers in the walls of your arteries. And the wording matters in the walls, not on them. This isn't hair clogging a drain that you could flush out with the right smoothie. Plaque grows inside the artery wall itself, like mold spreading behind wallpaper, bulging inward year after year while the surface stays smooth and everything looks fine. Your arteries have quietly been keeping receipts on every gas station burrito since 2004. And the truly unfair part is that none of it hurts. There are no warning lights for this. An artery can be half blocked while you're out there running personal bests on the treadmill. Which brings us back to your bedroom, somewhere around 2 a.m. Inside one of your coronary arteries, one of those caps rips open. Picture a pimple, except it pops inward, straight into your bloodstream. Your body responds exactly the way it's built to respond to any open wound. It rushes platelets to the site and forms a clot to seal the damage, which is the right instinct in the worst possible location, because the clot swells inside a pipe about the width of a piece of spaghetti, and within minutes, the supply line is closed. If it happens to be the big artery running down the front of the heart, doctors have a nickname for that one, the Widowmaker. A name so at home in a John Wick movie that Keanu could whisper it and nobody would blink, except this one has the higher body count. Downstream, a patch of your heart is now starving, and that's what wakes you up. The cement bag feeling from the evening is back, and it brought weight. If you ask survivors what it felt like, you keep hearing the same animal, an elephant sitting square on the chest. Your left arm aches, and so does your jaw, which seems unfair until you know why. The heart has no precise pain wiring of its own, so it borrows nerve lines that also serve your arm, your neck, and your jaw. The distress call reaches your brain with broken caller ID, and the brain blames body parts that have nothing wrong with them. You're soaked in cold, sweat, and nauseous, and your body, trying to help, dumps adrenaline into the system, which makes the heart beat harder and burn fuel faster, forcing the starving muscle to work overtime. And then comes the symptom nobody warns you about, a wave of pure